What's up everyone, welcome back to Versatile Fun Designs. Today I will be building and reviewing the new LEGO Technic John Deere 9700 Forage Harvester set without any instructions. Wow, that's a long name. It's a 9+ set with 559 pieces. Let's get right into it. The box size is exactly the same as the one from the LEGO store, by the way. So inside the box we get numbered bags, 1, 2, 3, and 4, one of each bag. We get the tires in an unnumbered bag and the wheels, as well as this sticker sheet, which unlike the LEGO store arrived intact and not damaged. That's always good. We also get these instructions, but I will not be using them. Here is the part list for those of you who are interested. But again, this information is always available on lego.com. You can always go there to see this yourself later. I will be using the building phases as usual. So let's see here. Are there any building phases that tell you no? Apparently there are no such building phases, as is the case with recent sets. It's unfortunate because I would like to see what is built with bag 1, bag 2, and so on. And so this is the last step for bag 1, right before we go to bag 2, right here. So I'll focus on building this. You see the back, and rely only on what I can see here, and this only on step 65. I will not look at other previous steps. I flipped through the instructions really quickly just to see where bag 1 ends, but I'm not going to look at those again. I did not look at them in great detail, and I will be using a 360-degree view to see what this looks like from other angles. When I'm using this brick separator to apply the stickers, this brick separator is not included with the set. You have to get it from another set or separately. So I'm done with bag 1. I have more extra pieces than usual. I'll put them aside, and if I see that I need to use them, I'll go back to them. Now I'll switch to bag 2. There's very few parts in bag 2, and I wonder why. Is it because I thought at the beginning it might be only system pieces, but there's a mix of system and technic in here. And also, I don't see an obvious reason, like a brand new piece or brand new color that would have been packaged differently. Like here it says copyright 2017. Not that the bag itself is directly related to the contents, but maybe it's something like a different factory or something like that. I don't know why else would they put just a very small number of pieces in bag 2. Let's take a closer look at these pieces, and maybe somebody can investigate this if you're really interested in these kind of LEGO trivia. So here's a look at all the pieces included in bag 2 of this set. Here are the pieces in the main bag, and here are the pieces in the small bag. So is there a pattern that would lead these pieces to be put in a separate bag? I don't know. Maybe someone already explained this somewhere on some article online, or maybe it's one of those mysteries that we will never find out. Comment down below if you know exactly what it is. And now, back to the build. I usually don't sort my pieces like this, but because I did this time, I think that will make building bag 2 a bit easier. And for those who are either not using the instructions or they just want to use the building phases, step 80 is what you want to look at for bag 2, because right after it we go to bag 3. So yeah, step 80. Moving on to bag 3, which corresponds to step 128. This looks like a complicated bag with all those gears. Some nice part usage there. These minifigure whip pieces that usually do not appear in Technic sets. Flipping the box makes building this front part much easier instead of just relying on that last step. For bag 4, I will be referring to the last step, step 177, and obviously the final page is shown here. It is shown from the front on both of these pages, but from slightly different angles, and that is helpful. Also, this is one of the rare LEGO Technic sets that include a regular minifigure seat. That's pretty interesting. They last included this in the large LEGO Technic helicopter from 2021, but it was not used as a seat in this case. It was used as a panel fairing, kind of like this, to cover up parts of the helicopter. But now it's being used as a seat for real, so that's pretty exciting. So essentially I finished the sides over here and here in the mirrors, including some stickers on both. It's the same sticker on each one. I built this assembly here. The sticker is a little bit askew, but I didn't want to reposition it so as not to scratch it like the one at the back. And interestingly enough, this is the very first ever LEGO Technic set that has this steering wheel. Usually we find this in LEGO City, LEGO Creator, etc. The very first time in LEGO history that we see it in a LEGO Technic set. That's pretty cool if you enjoy that kind of trivia. So let's finish up this build and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on the set. So one thing I will mention before I put it all together, just because it's more easily visible here, is the amount of LEGO system building in this set. There's this stuff for the driver compartment. There's all these decorations at the front, at the back, well, more at the sides, like over here. So you don't often see LEGO studs in LEGO Technic sets, but here you do. So just keep that in mind if you want to get this set. All this, where you see LEGO studs, that means it's LEGO System, as opposed to LEGO Technic, which is more of these beams and axles and pins and so on. Now, so with tires, when putting them together, make sure that this side goes with this and not this. For the large tires, it's a little bit more subtle. Or actually, never mind, it's the same either way. So the large tires, they're more bouncy. You can put these either way. I'm just going to put the tires on the model. And then we're going to be done with the build. Don't forget the stoppers. Alright, and now we are officially done with the LEGO John Deere tractor. Can go back and forth, and when it goes back and forth, especially when it goes forward, notice the gears. Here's another look at it. Just move the box out of the way to give myself more space. Look at it come along. That's pretty impressive. But of course, this set is not without its flaws, such as this thing being very loosely held here. Okay, let's try that again. So go. You can actually steer it from the steering knob here at the top, so that's pretty cool. We can do some nice turns. This is fun to play with, but because the steering is at the back, it will take a little bit of getting used to. I will point out, since it's very visible to me right here, there's a color difference between this green and this green and this green. So it looks like, again, LEGO color consistency is not what it should be, and this is for an obvious color or a primary color like green that they've been making since forever, basically. It's really disappointing to see that this green is not the same as this. I know it's like not an 18+ set, but still, LEGO uses these parts for all the sets, including the adult sets, so I do really think that they need to improve their color game. I know I'm not the first person to say this in the LEGO reviewing community, but it needs to be said, and if you're just a regular customer, you don't have a YouTube channel or anything like that, call LEGO customer service if you ever do see these miscolored parts and let them know, hey, this is not okay, we want all our colors to be consistent throughout. At least here, all the pieces of the same type are consistent, so there is that. This goes up and down, fairly realistic, within the limit of the medium. Steering knob, as I already mentioned. I did make some minor modifications to this set, namely in this part, just so I can lift it up. I'll show you why that's important in a moment. But before I do that, I'll mention once again, the set has a lot of system building. Here for the seat, for this thing, like the trim all around. It's quite a lot of system building, more than I was expecting, even though I know I could see from the box that there's some like LEGO system involved, but it was more than I was expecting, which is a little bit surprising in a Technic set. But on the other hand, we do get, this set does make history, being the very first ever to include this steering wheel. And we have this chair here. So the reason I made this modification is because by default this is not open. And so if you want to bring a farmer minifigure especially and put them in here, I mean, it's possible if this thing was like fixed, but it's not really convenient to do. So I think this is much more ergonomic. And that brings me to my next point. This set includes 0 minifigures. I know historically LEGO Technic sets have not included minifigures for the most part, but I think this set really should have been the exception. Like, we could have gotten like a branded John Deere minifigure with like a unique torso, and that would have made this set extra collectible. And it is minifigure scale, it's minifigure compatible, and it looks like it was designed for a minifigure. I mean, I've done some previous videos in the past where I've had to modify a LEGO Technic set to make it compatible with minifigures, but here I don't even need to do that because it's just compatible right from the get-go. So I think at the price that this set was sold at, a minifigure, at least one minifigure would have been nice to get. Of course, 2 or more is always better. And I do think that they should have made this open by default, like the way I did it. Like, it requires almost 0 modification to the set, no additional pieces or anything like that, and I was able to do this, and maybe a little bit of changes. Like, for example, I could add this stopper here on one side to make it like not go down all the way. Yeah, something like that. There's this knob here that lifts the blade a bit, and basically you turn it and it just goes up, and you flip it back down, and this is again in operation. So very simple mechanism. Yeah, that's all there is to it. And when this mechanism is down, the wheels are turning. Sorry, the gears are turning, and that's because there's this cheater, this pair of cheater wheels down here. So the way this works is actually pretty interesting and very fun to build without the instructions. So we have these wheels here, they touch the ground, this one and this one. They touch the ground and they move this axle, which moves this tan gear, which moves this black gear, which moves, let's see, what does this move? Which moves another axle, a gray axle, which moves this gear here at the back, which moves this gear here at the front, which moves another axle, which moves another gear down below it. And that basically spreads the movement to these gears in yellow. And then from here, it's symmetrical on both sides. This spreads the movement to this, to this, to this, red one here, and finally to this one. So it's a really interesting mechanism, and I love that this set includes so many gears. Sadly, no gearbox, or at least it includes the gears. And I'm pretty sure like there's going to be so many alternative builds of this set using these gears to do something awesome and amazing that I probably can't even think of right now. But there's so many good things to be done with these gears, and it's really exciting. So some final words before we wrap up. In the manual, towards the end, and specifically on set 174, there's this axle here that's added, seemingly for no reason. But the reason why this is here is so that it can connect to other sets, either your own creations or previous sets that LEGO has sold in the past from the farm sub-theme. So basically you could attach a trailer to this build, and they give you like the axle to do that, so you don't have to use your own pieces. So that's appreciated. They don't mention which sets those would be, so they might be retired or they might be future sets, either way. But good to know in either case. And finally, at the very back of the manual, we do get to see a comparison of the LEGO set with the thing it's based on, so the actual machine. You can see that the proportions are not quite exact. There's a little bit of a difference there, but it still gets the overall point across, especially at the small scale, like the minifigure size scale. It's a pretty good approximation, all things considered. I do wish this would have been better represented, but it's not a very big deal. So yeah, and you can kind of see how the real one works. So look at those gears there. So yeah, that's interesting to see. I also want to take a moment to talk about the build experience for the set without instructions. Overall, I found it to be an enjoyable experience, minus the fact that my device died. This did take a bit longer than I was expecting. It looks not too bad from the box, and there's not that many pieces, but on the inside, there's lots of things that are not trivial to figure out. Not impossible either, especially if you're using the 360-degree view and you're looking at this from all angles, but it's still not entirely trivial. So if you do get this set, you want to build it without the instructions, give yourself enough time, or if you have lots and lots of practice, or you don't mind doing things a little bit custom, I think you would get better results. Because the thing with this set is there's lots of cowling, lots of covering, which is good, it makes it look good, but it means that the mechanisms underneath are not fully exposed, so there's a little bit of guesswork involved and kind of process of elimination to get the steering mechanism done here at the back, as well as like how, so this part itself, the blade and the gears, this one is pretty easy because you can see everything, but once you connect this blade to the rest of the build, that part is a lot trickier, just because you can't see how it's done very obviously. So that is one thing to keep in mind if you're building this set without instructions. I found it to be a nice challenge, so don't be afraid of the challenge, but just keep in mind that it will be a challenge. It's not something like a LEGO Friends poly bag that you could build in 5 minutes. It's going to take a lot longer than that, but that's okay. These videos take a long time to make and edit, so I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe and share this video with anyone who you think they might find it interesting. It really means a lot to me, and it helps the channel grow. So thank you so much in advance for liking and subscribing. I noticed that most of you who watch my videos are not subscribed, so it doesn't cost you anything. It's right down below or up here if you're on your phone. Just do it. It costs nothing, and it really helps me out. Thank you so much. So yeah, although the set is not perfect, no set is ever perfect, it's a very good parts pack. If you like farm equipment, this is the set for you. If you like LEGO Technic, this is the set for you. If you like mixing LEGO System and LEGO Technic, this is also the set for you. If you like green, lots of green, and you don't mind a little bit of different colors, this is also the set for you. So it's a good parts pack. It's a good set for those who are interested in the subject matter at hand, or if you just want these pieces at, I'd say, a somewhat decent price. Like, the set is not insanely expensive. I do wish it would have been a little bit cheaper, but still, I'm sure this is going to go on discount, as most LEGO Technic sets do. So it's not outrageous like the X-Men jet or anything like that, but I would still like to see it a little bit cheaper, or keep it at the same price and put in 2 minifigures. Then I would be very happy. LEGO does make tons of farm minifigures anyway, so why not include one of them? It's only going to cost them like $1 or $2 max. So yeah, that's my look at the LEGO Technic John Deere 9700 Forage Harvester. Do you have this set? Do you want to get this set? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!